welcome to today's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Today we have streamer, real guy, Hawk from HawkNLoad, heavy metal guy that just knows all kinds of shit about heavy metal right now. As Metalhead, I find it massively interesting, and I just hell with it. Reach out to you and see if you want to be on the show.
Yeah,
so, tell us about yourself, sir.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm, it's kind of where it all, it's very built into my identity, heavy metal is. So, and it always has been. And, but what I didn't always, I've been making content for a long time. I usually just say content creator because I do put stuff out everywhere. And I guess, I don't know how, I have no idea how they class it. Like if you go by like biggest following, I'm a TikToker, Facebook guy, I don't know. Yeah. I won't say influencer. It's stupid.
No.
But yeah, no, I didn't always do this. The heavy metal stuff. I've only been doing it since, heavy metal's always been like some part of what I did. I made a lot of gaming content and just like commentary BS talking about all sorts of stuff content before I narrowed it down. But in September of last year, when Metallica's Lux Eterna released, the day it came out, I had no idea. I'm like, Metallica's my favorite band of all time. I know a lot about Metallica and then a little bit about everything else. That's kind of the man behind the curtain. Is that I know it all starts for me with Metallica, and then I learn everything else through that. But Lux Eterna came out, and I made this like funny video about it. And it went crazy. It went off like super viral. And I was like, all right, I got 10,000 followers off that one video. I had 2,000 followers on TikTok for like 3 years. And then I gained 10,000 off that one video. And I was like, all right, well, Metallica doesn't put out a new video or a new song every day. I got to figure something out. And when I was a kid, people who knew shit about metal were like super cool. And up until that point, I just kind of assumed this is all stuff everybody knows until I started talking about it. I was like, oh, everybody doesn't know some of this stuff. And the people who do know it are like, yeah, they like hearing it again.
Yep.
So it works out.
Yeah. See, that's where I am. I'm the guy who knows like some of the obscure stuff on bands and whatnot. Like, I always have the ongoing, I was like, hey, it's like, you know who the last remaining original member of Exodus is? Like what? The guy that Kirk Hammett replaced Kirk Hammett.
Right.
And people are like, really? I was like, yeah, look at shit up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It was down to the Ozzy biting the head off the bat. Like that was a big video for me. I did way back when. It's probably stuff that you depending on where you find me, because I didn't do Facebook until probably March or April of this year.
It wouldn't pop up on me, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me have my name correctly. My name is HawkNLoad. It's all one word. But on Facebook, they won't let me do it with the capital letters in the middle. So I have to space it all out. That's why it looks like that. But it annoyed me enough to not even bother because I didn't have any sort of following over there. And then I adopted Doc, and I started like following my local humane society there on that page, and was just like posting videos of Doc. And then I decided, I'm making all these here for TikTok and YouTube and everywhere else, Instagram. And I started putting them on Facebook, and it went fucking crazy. It went nuts. Facebook's my number 2 platform. It is the only one that's like willing to give me any amount of money. It's kind of wild, dude. It's nuts. I don't make any money off this stuff. I'm in the red I've been doing this for 5 years. I couldn't count how much I put into this. So
yeah,
we got a few more years before, I don't have to wait for like Gibson to call me or something. Hook me up,
I got kind of lucky. I started mine basically as just a thing I did out of my comic shop. We talked comics and dumb shit on a podcast I had on Podbean. And when the COVID hit, we were stuck at home, and me and my kid were sitting there. I was like, hey, you want to talk about shit and record it? And we started talking about movies and anime and music, and it just kept snowballing. Then I had people who were like, hey man, I'd love to be on your show. And I'm like, all right. So I started reaching out to my friends that are local when I had them on the show. Then I started reaching out to people. I was like, they're like, hey, you can record via Zoom. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. So I recorded via Zoom, and this kept getting bigger. And
this is a lot easier. I usually have to like explain Discord to people. Like I had a very similar podcast last year like I said, metal's always been a part of it. Yeah. It just wasn't the focus. It was like right in my face this whole time. It was like right here. I am a walking stereotype. I look, you get it. You understand.
Oh,
so like, yeah, it's like people follow you around at the fucking record store, making sure you're not swiping anything. So like, I but having the podcast, and I just got my friends to come talk, because that's the show. If you come by, I stream a lot. If you come by there, that's the whole show. It's just me and Frankie fucking off,
Yeah. See, the one I want to get on my show of all people is my son Joe, who will not do it. That kid is a fountain of knowledge, and he's just not. He's like, I don't want people.
He's like camera shy.
No, he hates dealing with people on the line. I was like, dude, I get that. I was like, my first insult comment I got off, I was like, I took pride in that. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, some guy goes, I love your show, but I could do without you. And I'm like, all right, well,
dude, I get that, bro. People are like, why are you talking like that? Is one of the things I get the most. It's like cigarettes, brother. I don't know what to tell you. What do you want from me? I wouldn't talk like that in a conversation. It'd be kind of weird if I was sitting here like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't get your name, bro, and I feel like an asshole.
Oh,
what's your name?
Paul.
That's it. Like I said, my whole like dealing with people is like, if the video is any more than 3 days old, I stop checking the comments, because it's all like bad. So I got my Facebook is a mess.
Oh, well,
I don't see anything.
It's bad is that I started doing it because I love in old 80s cartoons and shit like that. So one day I decided, you know what? I want to do like an old school Saturday morning cartoon block. So I set it all up. I put it like, put the commercials in it and the whole 9 yards, and I put it up on Facebook. And then all of a sudden it's like just slow, or not Facebook, but on YouTube. And all of a sudden, boom, you have 1,000 followers, and boom, you got 3,000 followers. I'm like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, they're like, would you like to be a guest at our convention? I'm like, me? You want here?
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's dumb shit. But and then I got people who talk about this show that I do, and they're like, man, you need to streamline it and get certain people. And I'm like, why? I was like, anybody do that. Yeah, anybody I find interesting or cool or something like that, I'll talk to them. And
that's it.
Oh yeah. Like I got to talk to a guy I never thought in a million years I'd ever get to talk to. There's a band, and I don't even know how to classify them. I don't know if you've ever heard of the band White Trash. They put out 2 albums in the early 90s. It's bad because I asked him, I was like, it's like a bunch of guys who were friends but didn't like different styles of music decided to form a band.
So they just did it all together.
Yeah. So the lead singer is a dude that's like into Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. So he's got that voice. The guitar player is a thrash guy. I think the drummer was a jazz guy. They had the other guys in the band played like horns and stuff like that. So they're just kind of like poppy stuff. But I always liked them because they were different back in the day. And so I reached out to him. I was like, you'll be on the show? He's like, hell yeah. I'm like, shit, okay. And he just kept talking and talking and talking. And the guy asked me, he's like, and people kept texting me, he's like, man, the interviewer needs to come. I'm like, every question I had written down, he answered before I ever got to ask the question.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm like, shit, yeah, I got to talk fucking dude.
That's what I like about being a guest on a podcast. When people reach out and they want me on, I'm always for it. Because when I'm the host, because I can go, man. Like you give me the runway, I'll go and I won't stop. It's a problem.
Oh shit,
So
I understand
yeah,
that completely.
yeah. So
I did a 3 hour show the other day and didn't realize it. So
yeah, dude. Yeah, I've been there for sure. But yeah, no, the biggest podcast in the world is just some, bald dude talking to anybody he finds interesting. So
that's right. That's how
that's
it's
just how it
going.
goes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the format, man. That's what works.
Oh hell
You
yeah.
know, that's
I'd
what we
give my
should be
arm.
doing.
I'd give my arm to talk to Rob Zombie for 2 hours. So
Yes. Well, you dude, here, check this out. When I started, I'm like real into true crime, and I watch a lot of true crime on YouTube. I make it myself as well,
mhm.
and um, I reached out to one of my favorite creators when I had started that podcast, and he was like down and came and talked. Like people are more accessible than you think.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you shoot your shot, and they'll either the worst thing they could do is ignore it or say no, and
Yeah.
sometimes you'll get that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh,
I've met
yeah.
a lot of really cool people doing this, and
Oh,
we haven't even hit a year of like traction yet.
that's like I got offered a fucking job directing a movie. And,
That's
and
awesome.
it's all because I've been talking to the director slash producer, and we were talking. He's like, "Well, you're going to do a segment for my movie, right?" And I'm like, "I'm what now? I guess." So
Hey
now I'm like
man,
fucking casting it and scripting it and doing all kinds of dumb shit for it. And it's
that's
I got
awesome. I haven't got any job offers yet, but I might be looking soon. I'm an electrician, so I don't know how much longer that's going to last though. So
electrician. You got that's a hell of a job, man. That's a
I do, yeah. I specialize in like commercial prefabrication, so I get to work, and I don't have to work on the job site, but I do work for like a commercial company. But I have my own shop, so I build stuff. But they're not doing well,
oh
and things are bad. And I've been there a decade. I've been there 10 years. So my whole adult life, I've been doing this, and I have, I'm not like it's all right to work stuff. So I don't have like papers. I don't have a paper that says I know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. But I don't want to do it anymore. If I can't be in my, because I got a lot of freedom.
mhm.
I've been there 10 years. I have my own space. I have my laptop set up. I can watch whatever I want while I'm doing my work. I have I can smoke while I'm working. There's not very many places left you can do that.
Yeah.
So, if I can't do that, I'm going to jump fields. I got a good resume now for something like voiceover. People like the way I sound. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try something like that.
I went from working at a printing company, and I worked there till the day the doors closed because I had my comic shop and stuff like that, and it was making money. But I liked having that dedicated paycheck that I knew I was getting every week.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you can have a slow week, but I make way more now than I ever did at a regular job. But I had freedom because I knew what I was doing. I was the only guy there that knew how to run 3 presses. So
Right.
I was like, whatever, I'll leave. And they're like, no, 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 stay, stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
listened to whatever. I had my stereo. I didn't have like a stereo. I had a stereo at work.
One of those like Henry Rollins motherfuckers.
Oh, I'd put in whatever I wanted to listen to because I was except for every once in a while somebody walked back and they're like, what are we listening to? And I'm like, never mind. I don't want to know. And it'd fuck off. Oh man, it was real funny.
Yeah.
I became the guy that everybody went to for music because
Yeah.
I brought in a case full of CDs and then a case full of cassettes.
Right.
And everybody would always bum them like, man, just put it back when you're done. I don't care. And then everybody's listening. I come into work and you could hear my cassettes or my CDs all over the building.
Awesome.
So
I don't have anything anymore.
you
I
know,
lost it
anything.
all. No, no. I mean, I have like my T-shirts and what you see on the wall, but no, I don't have any like physical media. I don't have vinyls or cassettes or CDs anymore.
Man,
I don't even have all the T-shirts I had in high school. I lost it all. I lost most of that shit in a fire
ooh,
when I was like 19. It was forever ago. So I came out. I got the guitar out at SG. So which is worthless. Nobody would buy that thing, but it's priceless to me. So like,
yeah, it means
I got out with that thing, and that was enough. So I lost all the T-shirts and a lot of my stuff. But
well, it's like I was wearing T-shirts till they literally fell apart.
mhm.
I had an
this
old,
this little monster over here shreds them. I got to be careful.
yeah, mine. The dogs. I got 3 dogs. Two of them are upstairs because they would not leave me alone while I'm recording at all. And the one jumps, and I had a hole, just a little tiny hole in his shirt. Claw went right in there, rip. I'm like, oh,
so yeah,
shit. But I was going through some stuff the other day. I found my t-shirts from high school. If it tells you
I
anything,
wish.
I graduated 31 years ago. So
No, it's not bad.
yeah, I still got my Pantera Cowboys from Hell fucking hostile t-shirt.
So you were graduating high school when I was born. I was like a year old.
Yeah,
I was born 1991. Yeah.
I got my.
That's a good dude. That's a great time to be graduating high school, brother. That's a fucking awesome time to be in your 20s. Through the 90s, are you kidding me? Like Metalhead in the 90s, everybody was still fresh. All the guys from the 80s could still play tight. And you were, yeah, dude. That's a great time to be in your 20s.
And I lived in Ohio, and we are about 30 minutes away from Hare Arena. Hare Arena was well known for concerts. That was the place to go in Ohio for the longest time. And it was an old falling apart piece of shit fucking arena, but everybody played there. And I remember seeing 3 bands in 4 days, and still had to go to work on Saturday. And I think I know it was Megadeth was one of the concerts I went to, and Gwar was one of the other concerts I went to. I think Slayer was the other one, but I was deaf by Saturday. So my bosses come up to me and they're just like, their lips are moving. I'm just nodding. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. I could do my normal job, and then I come back and everybody looked at me like, man, you were weird on Saturday. I was like, dude, I couldn't hear a thing on Saturday.
Yeah, nothing but tinnitus, bro. Yeah, nothing but tinnitus. I got tinnitus at Ozfest. That wrecked me. I went to Free Fest. I went to Ozfest in 2007 because it was free. We were like poor white. I grew up poor white trash in Florida. I'm from like South Florida.
Oh man.
See, yeah, it was rough.
I'm not a festival guy. I don't like going to festivals. I like going to concerts and seeing 3 bands maybe. And
being down with it, yeah, it was an experience.
Well, I'll tell you how old I am. I got to see Ozzy's first farewell tour in the
90s. Yeah, like No More Tears,
the No More Tours tour.
Yeah. Damn,
that was my right towards the end of my senior year. I tell everybody now that my senior prom was Pantera and Skid Row.
That's awesome.
And then my wife's prom, we skipped out on her prom and went and seen Slayer. So
that's Cowboys Pantera too. That's like fresh domination. Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
Oh my God. I went and I got to see Slayer when they still did Rain and Blood as their encore when it rained.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't do that no more. We can't see Slayer anymore. So,
right.
But so what got you into metal?
What did get me into metal? The first band I ever got into was the Beatles when I was like really young, really like 10, like as I started to get into music. And then from like my early teens, I'd say 13, I wasn't really sure what I liked. And then I found Black Sabbath. So like Black Sabbath and AC/DC, which isn't in the metal category, but it's been influential regardless. Like it influenced all that. But yeah, no, AC/DC and then Black Sabbath, and then it just kind of grew from there and then stopped at like Pantera. And then every now and then someone will get in like Power Trip or Death Clock. I'm like unironically really into Death Clock.
And Death Clock kicks ass.
It's amazing. I love
the fact is it's a super group if you want to get down to it, because it's it's Brandon Small's Strapping Young Lad, and I can't remember who the other ones are.
I can't either.
But no. See, you got into it. I was a kid. I grew up. My parents listened to Led Zeppelin, Alice Cooper, Leonard Skinner, stuff like that. And then MTV came along, and I started finding your hair band. So I started listening to Motley Crue and
Right.
stuff like that. And then junior high hit, and then all of a sudden that was '87, and all of a sudden it's like my buddy's like, "Hey, check this out," and it was Ride the Lightning and
Hmm.
Peace Cells,
Right.
and I was like, "The hell is this?"
This is
And
it.
it was done.
This is it.
This
Yep.
this is my life now.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
and it just was like off it went.
Yep.
And my wife gives me shit. She's like, you were a music snob for years, and I'm like, I still am a little bit.
I am too. Like I'm like that's the dirty little secret of my little operation here is like my scope is not wide as far as like who I will listen to. I spent all of high school listening to like Metallica. And it will Merciful Fate and Diamond Head, all the and then everything that the Misfits and the Ramones and all this. You know, I was Bad Religion.
Oh
I
yeah,
was into a lot of punk rock back then too, and then like as I got out of high school, it's just like I'm really interested in people's and like bands' histories and stuff like that. So I'll know like some of the little things, but it's not like I don't listen. You know, I've been listening to Clutch all week. I listen to like one band at a time for as you know, I did a video on Clutch and I was like, you know what, fucking Clutch is awesome. I
yeah.
haven't I haven't crammed Clutch in years. I want to do one on the Offspring. I haven't done a video about the Offspring yet. Offspring are one of my favorite bands as well.
See, I really dug the Offspring for the longest time, and to be honest, after they hit big, I remember those like 3 albums, and I don't
Mhm.
remember what came after any of those albums. I know they put out more albums,
Yeah,
but they did those three all, like right in a row, boom, 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 and they were all three huge. And then they kind of disappeared, but I know they
kind
kept
of
putting
faded
out.
under it. They
Yeah,
no, they did, and they stayed pretty well uh relevant through like high school for me, like through the 2000s. And but it was like they did you saw them as like the pretty fly for a white guy
mm-hmm.
hit that band, right? Like
Yeah,
the kind of campy funny shit they did. But if you go like all the way back to like 80, I think their first album came out in like 89, like they are a fucking certified hardcore punk band. They're
yeah,
like they were, you know, they were the closest thing to Bad Religion that you could get. Dexter Holland is a melodic genius. Like the vocal melodies are amazing. I you know, so all of that stuff and then Americana
oh
and
yeah.
all that, those are great. Those albums are big because they're fucking amazing. You know, I got a lot of grunge too. I guess I am in when I list it all out, I'm into more than I guess I let on. But yeah, I'm not, you know, people will ask me about, hey, do you know this fucking band from like the Tampa death metal scene in 2007? And I was like, no, I don't know that band. You know, one band that I only ever got into their one album. Iced Earth did this album of cover songs, and it
Yeah.
was super good. That's a super good album. They did really well. But then, like, one of them raided the Capitol on January 6th, and now I'm like afraid to talk about that album because I don't want to start no shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's,
You know, anytime I talk about Michael Graves, it goes off too. So it's like, yeah, it's a weird thing to tread. And I was like, yeah, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about famous monsters. Like, don't
hmm.
bring that shit to me.
Yeah. I got a shitload of misfit stuff. I hate to say this, but it ends at Zanzig, and it's just kind of that's where it
Bro,
stopped.
I just did a 40-minute documentary on the Misfits, and it took me like 3.5, 4 months to do, but not all together. It's just like in time wise.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but the entire time, those whole 4 months, all I listened to was Danzig or Misfits to make sure I was like in the fucking right space. Yeah. No, I love it. I
yeah,
love it. In high school, we were really into Graves because the Graves era stuff was closer to, you know,
yeah, yeah,
metal
yeah, yeah.
than punk
See,
rock.
that was
So
right there at that time for you. See, I found Misfits because I was one of them kids that when Metallica dropped, and of course
mm-hmm,
the 598 EP dropped,
mm-hmm.
they're like, these are the
Last
bands that
rest, dude.
inspired us. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So I went and dug out and found those, and that was back in the day where you had to go to the record store or go to the used junk store and find a cassette or a
Yeah, dude. Earth AD will change your life at that age, bro.
oh yeah. And then
That
I remember listening to um, the Misfits probably freshman year in high school, so 88. And I'm like, holy shit. And then, of course, that's when Danzig, Sam Hain, Danzig, all that shit dropped. And I'm like, that's the same guy? Holy crap.
Yeah.
And it just snowballed. And now I have a shit ton of
I love
Misfits and
Danzig.
Danzig.
I love it. Yeah. It's like they almost feel like being into two different bands, but I really enjoy both of them.
That's,
It was an interesting history to explore too, because it's like it was also, ironically, making stuff with, like, say I want to use something by Metallica. Like I said, my first video was I used parts of Lux Eterna, and it was like a comedic review of the song, right? Which is like it's textbook fair use. There's no copyright infringement happening there. But these platforms are like really they don't care about the nuance or context of things. But I didn't have any problems with it for about, I want to say, like 3 or 4 months. And then it got like DMCA, it got copyright claimed. And I was like so bummed out because it was my biggest video. It's still the biggest video I've ever made. And then like TikTok has, on TikTok, I'll say it, but TikTok has no appeals process. You can't be like, hey, this is wrong. And it got released anyway. So there's two things that lead me to this conclusion, but I think the guy who runs the Metallica social media page fucking follows me. Cause like we got Doc in February, but in January, Mac died. Like we lost, like he was 9. He was my entire world. He's the whole reason I do the dog thing.
yeah.
And it was bad. It just happened. And he used to be a part of all the videos too, just like Doc is. And on TikTok. So like I wanted to say something about them. Like if he's gone now. I got I tell them, but I could barely get through the video.
Yeah.
Well, I was crying the whole time. I put it up, and the Metallica social media guy, like whoever's on that account, the official Metallica account, like commented on that video, and it really lifted me. It was a rough. It's still kind of hard to think about. So
I completely understand. I had a dog. He was 12, Courage Jr. He was with me. He was blind at the end, so I was a CNI person. So he walked with me everywhere I went,
yeah.
and he walked between my legs. And everybody's like, I was like, I ain't gonna run nowhere because he can't go nowhere. I was
Yeah, just let him go. He doesn't know where he is.
yeah, it's like he's lovable as hell. And it was funny because I'd go out there dead of winter. God, 3-4 years ago, I let him out. He goes out on the patio, goes down the patio, does his business. It's this much snow in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, come on, Junior, come on. And he comes up, he goes on the patio and just sits there. I'm like, come on, come in. And he just stares at me. Finally, I'm like, ah, damn it. I run outside. I pick him up. He looks at me, licks my face. I'm like, you wanted me to come out here and get you, didn't you? So I take him inside, and I look, and the neighbor lady's staring at me. I'm literally in a pair of shorts, dead of winter, no shirt, no shoes,
Like
no nothing, picking my dog up.
Yeah.
I love my dog to death. My 2 dogs are, I love my 2 dogs now. My wife's dog gets on my nerves, but I love my 2 dogs.
Yeah, no, I get it. Mac unlocked something in me about that. And, I don't have any kids or nothing, so that's where all that paternal energy goes. And Doc is awesome. I fucking love this kid too. I got so lucky. When we went to go get Doc, I wanted to document it because at that point I was there is a video of me going to get him. I don't know that it's on TikTok. It might be actually, or not TikTok, Facebook. I actually think it may have been the first reel that I uploaded there. Was the video of me getting Doc, because I wanted to share it with the Humane Society so they could share it around. And I had only seen him on the website. It was a lot. I mean, I think the decision was influenced a lot by grief. To go get him, because like the house was empty and I had all this love that I'd been given to Mac for years, and now it was all just pain because I had nowhere to put it. And I was like, we were, even before Mac didn't get along with other dogs, so we couldn't get any more dogs while we had him. But even before that, we wanted more dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and picked up Doc, and they brought him into the room. And I didn't know. I know him now. Like, I know him because I've had him for a while. But they opened the door and they let him on. They let go of the leash, and he like flew from that door onto me and like wrapped his arms around my neck and gave me this big hug. It was the first thing he did, and he doesn't really do that. Like, that's not like a thing he does normally. Now that I've had him,
Yeah.
he's, and they didn't know anything about him, and he was. I was like, that's it. It's like, I'm leaving with this dog today. So I got really lucky.
Yeah. See, I
He acclimated pretty quick.
I got really lucky with my last dog, Courage. My mom was volunteering at an animal shelter. She calls me up. She goes, "Do you want another corgi?" And I went, "Well, I've got 2 dogs, man. I don't know if I really want a third." And then she sends me a picture, and I'm like, "Ah." And then she goes, "His name's Courage." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess we got to take him now because that's Courage's third. He's the third dog we've had named Courage."
That's awesome, dude.
And
that's
so
awesome.
He's they were like, "Oh, he's a runner. He does all this stuff like that." No, he's super lovable. He gets barky and wants to fight the neighbor's dog and stuff like that. But and he's needy. But man, I love that dog.
Yeah, dude. No, I get it. Doc, we think Doc might have been like a bait dog. He's everything was brand new to him. We're fairly certain he spent some long period out on his own in the woods. So we don't know if he had gotten free or if somebody tried to dump him or what. But according to his medical record, like when they found him, he was all beat up and he was underweight, and even still he like eats grass. He's done it since the day I brought him home. He'll go out there and just eat grass.
Yeah.
And it feels in like the first time I tried to give him like lunch meat or cheese or something, it was like he was real weary he's still really jumpy. If I stand up too fast, he thinks I'm coming. I've never hit him. None of that. But I would never do that. Yeah. We have nothing but positive. We learn now, Mac was the best dog. He's fucking amazing. Doc is like, you take him outside, he'll just look at people, the neighbor dogs. He's not a barker. He's extremely, I haven't seen him show an ounce of aggression towards anything for any reason, except to like yell at me to go outside. That's the closest thing to aggressive. He'll just sit there and bark at me like, all right, it's time to go. It's cute as fuck.
Oh, my fat one that's rocking way back there. You can't see her because she's just below right there. If you look, you can see she is my fat corgi. And she's a retired breeding dog. The people were like, "Well, we're going to get rid of her." And do we know anybody? And my mom's like, "Yeah, my son will take her." I took her. That dog doesn't bark. She wants something. She go, "Rah." That's her bark. And you're like, "All right, let's go outside." Awesome. She'll go outside. But she's getting too fat, so.
Yeah. Mac, we spoiled Mac too, and it was probably part of the problem. But
it's hard to do when you got dogs.
It's something else.
Oh yeah, shit yeah. So man, but it's funny because like I said, I found you by accident because you popped up one day. It was Facebook going through the reels and shit, and I just was like, I started watching all your stuff, and I was like, man, okay, that's cool, that's good information. It's good information. And some of it, like I said, stuff that you've heard 1,000 times, but you do it in a way that keeps you entertained, which helps. So, and also, I am a good friend of mine now works for Kings of Thrash.
Mm-hmm.
So I conned him into getting me shit. So I scored some signed CDs. So,
nice.
Is Metallica still your favorite?
Yeah, all time, forever.
All time.
I love Metallica. Yeah. Like I don't have any tattoos yet because I'm poor. I've been broke for like 15 years, so that's why I don't have any stuff either. And then I put all of it into this this monstrosity going on here.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, no, the whole right arm, I'm gonna sleeve it out in Metallica related stuff, and the whole left arm's gonna be Pantera. And then, we'll go like Crimson Ghost on the hand or fucking War Pig on the back, some Volbeat. I'm just like, I got plans.
Yeah. See, it's fun watching talk about the information stuff, and I saw Pantera for the first time when I got to see them open for Skid Row of all bands.
Mhm.
I've seen them, I want to say 8 times in total over the years. I've seen them open and I've seen them headline. And the one thing that scares me was that I was supposed to be at the
The
Damage
show
Plan
in
show.
Columbus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were supposed to go. The only reason I didn't go was because we couldn't find a babysitter because it was like on a Wednesday, I think, for my
That's
kid, and that's the
that's
only
wild.
reason we were there. And it's like,
Nathan, there was another kid there, Nathan, not Nathan Gale, the guy who shot him. I can't remember his last name, but the kid, one of the fans died.
mhm,
So it was 2 security guards. Because I did a
Yeah.
detailed documentary about Dime's death as well, and because I found this really awesome article about Nathan Gale, about the shooter, that went like way deep into his history and like how fucked up he was and why he was fucked up like that. And yeah, no, one of the audience members died trying to tend to Dime on the stage.
mhm.
Everybody else ran out and the kid jumped up on the stage and Gale just fucking blew him away.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah, it's to this day, it's one of them things because literally I was on stage during a Pantera show back in the day. I got climbed up on stage, fucking kid, and
Yeah.
watched where security goes, and then I fucking leaped out into the audience. Matter of fact, my wife spotted me before we got together because she was at the show and she saw me on stage. And I was at the time I was like 5'6", weighed 135 pounds, was a little skinny dude. And she's like, "Look at that little dude." So it just kind of snowballed. That's where we first, she noticed me, and then we met. We actually got together like a year and a half later. But that's kind of nice having a wife that's into the same shit.
Yeah, I could fucking only imagine.
You're talking about Clutch. That's where I'm going Sunday. I'm going to go see
Yeah,
Clutch. Yeah.
I love Clutch. I love Clutch. I love a lot of bands. I do like more. I got challenged this morning on Twitter by some friends about not being into. I don't listen to any emo bands. I don't like any metal core. I'm not like into genty prog metal either. I just, the way I'll describe it to people and the way it seems to make the most sense to me is like the further away from rock and roll that the metal gets, the less I like it, I think.
Yeah. See, I'm one of them guys. It depends on my mood.
Right?
Because there's days where I went probably 3 years where all I listened to was death metal and black metal, and it was because I was in a horrible foul mood for like 3 years.
Just 3 years of
3 years,
fucking bad day.
And
Yeah.
oh man, that was a rough 3 years.
I got pulled over once banging Devil Driver. It was wild. It was I got in trouble.
I've been pulled over. Breaking the Law was playing one time. I got pulled over, and I got pulled over listening to Sammy Hagar. I Can't Drive 55. Both cops had to be
awesome.
a dick about it and be like, a little funny there, huh? And I'm like, yeah, okay, give me my ticket. I know.
That's some serendipity, dude, too, because that's got to be a radio player, right? It just like it happened to be that
both
way.
of them were radio plays back in the day, yeah.
Because you don't put on Sammy Hagar's "I Can't Drive." You don't do that anymore. Not since.
But that was probably 90. Jesus, 95, 96 is when that was the last time I got pulled over when I was doing that. So
yeah, I haven't gotten any trouble in a while.
see, it's bad. As now, music is one of the ones where it's like I don't get in trouble listening to it like I used to.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's no stories anymore, right? Yeah, I feel that.
Get back in the day. I was just telling somebody, I was like, man, I was like, we're talking about concert experiences and stuff like that. I was like, I went to an overbooked show back in the day, and it was the weirdest lineup. It was Richie Kotzen, fresh off of getting fired from Poison, Typo Negative, and Jackal.
That is a weird lineup.
It was a free radio station show.
They all have guitars in them.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be, I want to say it wasn't supposed to be Richie Kotzen. I think it was supposed to be Bruce Dickinson when he was doing his solo thing. And he went somewhere else. But I was at that show, and it was overbooked. They had way too many people there, because the floor there was almost never full, right. And it was full. All the seats were full. Every spot you could put a person, they gave out that many tickets. God. And I'm sitting there, and this dude, I had gotten split off from my group, so I'm there with my then girlfriend, my now wife, some of her friends, some of my friends, people I worked with, because we all just went down to a big group. This guy comes up to me, he's like, "Hey man, why are you fucking around with my girlfriend?" I'm like, "What? Who the fuck are you?" You know, I didn't know his girlfriend. And I'm sitting, this dude's, I don't know, probably 6'1", 6'2".
Peter Steele.
Yeah. And he's getting, and I watch his hand, and I see his hand flex into a fist. As soon as I noticed that, I grabbed his shirt and I headbutted him. And I seen him kind of, I was like, I'm in it now. Wham, wham.
Yeah, no kidding.
And because I'm way smaller than this dude. I'm like,
yeah, no shit. You gotta jump on him.
So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, man, security grabs me and grabs him. They pull us apart, and they jerk us into the, I would say holding room, but it was more like a first aid area.
Right.
And I've got blood all down the front of my face. I'm, and
is it your blood?
No,
it's his blood, right?
Yeah. They cleaned me off, and I'm fine. I have a knot.
No shit.
But the worst part about this dude's sitting there, and his eyes I could see him because he's like across the hall from me, and I can see right into the room where he's sitting. His eyes are swelling shut.
Yeah, dude. Did you break your nose? If you clear your nose, that your fucking face will balloon up. You got to leave it stuffed up. That's fucking crazy. I've never had anything like that. No. And, I'm very non-confrontational. I'm a big dude too. Well, I'm skinny now, but I'm 6'4".
Holy shit!
So I used to be a big fucking, like, I was like 300 pounds, and then I started losing weight. So now I'm down to like 185. I'm real skinny now.
Shit, you're my size, and I'm
like it. I don't wear it so well. I really wish I I need to start putting it on, but I don't like to eat. It takes time. I'm a very busy guy.
Yeah,
I imagine you are too. You run a fucking comic book shop. That's so cool, dude. That's fucking awesome.
I'm there 5 days a week. I do 3 shows on YouTube. I go to the gym 3 days a week. Plus, I have my kids that my youngest son, still lives at home with us.
You're like fucking heavy metal Ohio Kevin Smith, bro. That's awesome.
That's why I lost weight for the first time. I'm standing there at a movie theater, and this dude walks past me, and I had my trench coat on and shit. And he goes, "Hey, you ever see Kevin Smith?" I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should.
It sounded good. He's looking pretty good now. He almost died.
Yeah, he went vegan. He lost a shit ton of weight.
Yeah.
I'm not about to do that. I like.
No. It's not as chopped up as they make it out to be, bro. It kind of sucks. Tired all the time. I drink a lot of coffee. I can't. It's nice that my knees don't hurt as much anymore, but like people think I'm on drugs, so that's where it goes. You don't like haircuts and you're skinny, you're on meth. They think I'm on drugs. Dude, my employers thought I was on. They didn't bring it up to me, but they thought I was on drugs while I was losing weight. Like when I started losing weight when I quit drinking. Okay, when I was 22, 2014, I got a DUI. I got pulled over because I ran a stop sign and I had been drinking. Right, and it was such a fucking headache dealing with that. That like as I think I maybe drank a little bit for about a year after that, and then I was at a wake. And I had to go to work the next day, and it was like noon, and I was trying to keep up with all the old guys, and I'm like blasted, and it's noon, and I'm like sitting there in my living room, and I'm like, I already feel like shit, And so I had a terrible hangover the next day. I said, I'm never drinking again. We all said it. I'm never drinking again. And I just fucking didn't. I just lost interest in it. So when I stopped drinking, I started to lose weight. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then I cut out soda. And, you know,
soda will do
once
that.
my body, and then, yeah, it just fucking, it went. And then I started eating there was like a whole year and a half where all I ate was like steak or ground beef and like some kind of green vegetable like green beans or broccoli. That's all I would eat, and I eat like once a day. I still do that, only eat once a day. So that's why I'm not putting on any weight. But yeah, no, that's how I did it. Crash dieting.
I went I stayed about the same weight for the longest time, about 170, 175. And then I went from working a factory job to basically just sitting on my ass at the shop. And I started gaining weight. And then I was drinking on top of that again because I stopped and then I started again. And then one day I looked, we did our own comic book convention. We had a like a party after, like I don't know what to say, a party. A bunch of us got together, went and had drinks and shit. And I'm sitting there, I'm drinking my drink. I took a drink off and I was like, I'm done. My wife goes, you ready to leave? I was like, no, I'm done. I don't think I want to drink anymore. And I just walked away from it. That was 9 years ago, somewhere. Yeah. And been sober ever since. I don't drink. I don't drink pop. I do drink an energy drink every once in a while because I just need the caffeine to.
Dude, I drink.
Killing people.
If I told you how much coffee I drink, you would not believe me.
Oh, believe me, I probably would because I drink.
This is my 7th one today. So, and that's cutting back. By the way, I used to like when I would brew it myself. It's like 4 or 5 pots a day, and like in a 32-ounce keg. I was getting insane because when I cut out soda, I was like, I don't want to cut out caffeine. I don't give a shit about that. I need the caffeine, so I switched to coffee, and then so I just like. It was a lot cheaper and a lot easier to do. And so now I have a pretty severe coffee addiction, but other than that, I'm pretty good. I don't like weed or anything. I'm not really into it. I wish I was. I want to be.
See, me, weed is I don't like to smoke. I eat edibles.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know if I've had some edible experiences, but I wish I want to. It's too much of a headache trying to figure it out now.
Well, it's
you don't know anybody.
Me and my buddy were going up to Michigan to go to wrestling, and he's like, "Hey," it goes, I can stop at my dispensary I go to up here." So I walked in with him, and he's like, "You want to try something?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Man, try these gummies." And I'm like, "All right, fuck it," because I'd smoked when I was younger, and nothing ever really came from it.
Shit back then wasn't as fucking scientific as it is now too. This shit'll send your ass to the moon, dude.
Oh yeah. And he goes, try one of these. So I ate. He goes, try half of one. Because half of one should fuck you up. So I ate half of one. 2 hours later, nothing. And I'm getting aggravated, so I fucking pop another full one. Nothing. Man, and this is like getting late. So man. Finally, I'm like, screw it. I had that other half of one, so I threw it in, chilled out, watching TV. I'm reading comics, got my feet propped up. About 2:30 in the morning, it's like, all right.
There it is.
I say it's the warm blanket feeling. It felt like a blanket just laid over me. I'm like, all right, okay, this is it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the next day, I woke up and I looked at my wife. I was still high. I was like, now I got it down to a freaking science, man. I take 2 of these little ones. My knees don't hurt. My back don't hurt. I can sleep at night.
There's medical out here in Pennsylvania, so like I should just get on it. And I'm pretty sure they don't allow gummy. There's no edibles though, right? I'm not sure about
Where you at in Pennsylvania?
Pittsburgh.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not very far from you.
Well, you're almost exactly 5 hours away.
That's not too bad.
We used to go to Pittsburgh for Pittsburgh Comic-Con over in Monroe. So
the furry convention too. We're just like a furry mecca of the world, bro. Pittsburgh is like a furry con mecca of the world. They all meet here from all over the world like every year.
It's crazy.
It's weird, dude. They'll take over the city, bro. It's fucking wild.
Well, it's funny because I have I got a couple furries that come in my shop, and they every once in a while they'll show up at like our
There's
concerts.
crossover there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it.
and
Yeah.
it's so funny because I look at them, I'm like, I don't care. I was like, man, are you hurting anybody? Is everybody
Yeah,
concerned? They
no.
have
They're
fun?
fucking cool. I think it's cool. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Do it.
I was like, shit, I dress up, take my kid trick or treat and shit. I got
You know what? I started to understand it more when COVID hit and they were like making us wear masks inside, you know? And I was like, now I have this mask on and it's not weird. If I walked in with this mask on fucking a month ago, you'd have called the cops.
Yep.
But now I got this fucking mask on and it's like there's something about it, like just like something between you and the, you know, that kind of quells that social anxiety a little bit. So
Yeah.
I kind of get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's like I was kind of a little disappointed when we got rid of masks because
Yeah. So was I.
like, but to be honest with my beard and shit, all I did was
Oh yeah, that's dude. Yeah, this mustache is new. This is a new installation right here. I
All
had
I
the goatee forever.
I had it just started getting breaking out like I was a fucking 12-year-old again.
Yeah,
And then the one day they thought it was funny because me and my son go walking out. I have a like a Boba Fett mask on. He's got
that
like,
counts, dude.
they don't allow those. What do you mean? We're wearing masks. You can't get.
Yeah, you're safe.
Yeah.
Nah, that's fucking awesome.
Oh man, but yeah. And then I take my my son's 12 and he has autism, so he's more like a emotionally like an 8-year-old. He
Right.
still loves doing trick or treat. He still loves it.
Yeah.
He's my size. Kid's outweighs me, but he's like that much shorter than me, and he's 12. And last year I took him trick or treating, and I had a full Spider-Man costume, like a really high end one.
Yeah.
So I'm taking him, and like all these kids are wanting their picture taken with me, so I have to stop, take a picture with people, and then go on with my son.
It's awesome, dude.
Was it year before that was I'm a Star Wars guy too, so I have Sith robes. So I took that, and the year before that I was a stormtrooper because I have stormtrooper armor because I'm a huge fucking dork.
No, that's awesome. I'm all about that. I'm all about it. Not so much into Star Wars, but like I was really big. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator when I was younger. I'm not. I picked up a guitar and kind of dropped all that for. So I can't draw super well, but I can do all right. And yeah. But I get it, so I understand.
Well, it's funny because I used to play bass, and then I got nerve damage, so I can't really feel these two fingers.
Right.
That makes playing an instrument a little hard.
It sure does, yeah. No,
And
fuck yeah.
Earlier I got to meet one of my idols. I got to Frank Bello from Anthrax, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go up to him. I met Scott, talked to Scott for a few minutes, walked over, talked to Frankie, and I'm like, hey, man, I was like, you're the reason I picked up a bass. And he's like, oh, really? And we're sitting talking. I was like, man, I learned to play bass because I watched the Got the Time music video over and over again on VHS tape and watched his finger placement on everything. And that's how I learned to play Got the Time. Okay. And the same reason I got to learn how to play Ace of Spades, stuff like that. It's because I just watched. Never learned how to read music, but I learned how to watch finger placement.
That's kind of awesome. Yeah, I had the internet at least. I didn't learn how to read music, but tablature was around. It was pretty easily accessible. Got the Time's my favorite Anthrax song, by the way.
And
it's a cover. Did you know that?
Yeah. It's Joe Jackson.
I did not know that. Yeah, yep. I know. I had no fucking idea until I did a video about Persistence of Time, and then I looked at when I was doing research on Persistence of Time. I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, in that video, I don't know if that one's on Facebook, but in that one, I have a whole thing written in there where I was like, I didn't know that. Just to make it clear, I don't know everything.
Well, it's like so many people, like, I grew up when Quiet Riot blew up.
Yeah.
So, and people don't realize that they'd been around for quite a while before they blew up. And
covers, yeah,
with covers.
Multiple times,
was Slade covers, and everybody's like, "Who?" I was like,
"Yeah, right."
the real album, Slade. What? Okay, so well, it's really funny when these big bands that everybody knows, like their big hit will be a cover song,
right?
And then it takes people a while to discover that it's a cover,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, hell, realistically, that's how I discovered the Misfits and stuff like
Right.
that because of
Yeah.
Metallica.
Last
And
Caress almost belongs to Metallica. Like
oh,
if you can do the cover well enough, you can almost take the song.
yep.
Like Johnny Cash with Hurt, and like it's just that song ends up being you end up handing that over. So
Oh my
I
God.
get that.
Me, and my
Nobody does Last Caress better than the Metallica. Not even Danzig.
no. Well,
No.
it's funny 'cause you talk about hurt. My son and I, I get my mini me. My son, that's he's an adult now and shit, but me and him are like this. We were talking about music and stuff like that. He's way more into a broader spectrum of music than even I am. And we were sitting there talking about hurt. And we're like, I remember when Trent Reznor goes, "Well, I didn't know I wrote a song for Johnny Cash when I wrote it." So,
Yeah, no kidding.
and then
Yeah.
I'm I love the movie Logan, that last Wolverine movie.
Yes, I have not seen it. I haven't watched any movies in years though.
Oh
That's
shit!
you can't fault me.
That,
I haven't watched. I caught up on the Avengers in like 2018 or 2019. But I have not watched a TV show or a movie in since I started making content. Like I go to work, I come home, and then I make these fucking stupid videos. Like that's
so
what I do my whole life.
you see now me, I get up in the morning, gym or get my kid, go to the shop, come home. I chill out for a little bit, then I start working on the shows, doing comics, and I've always got a TV on. That's my go-to thing is I have to have a TV on.
I'm a YouTube guy.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube videos. I've been on a kick of watching like body cam footage lately of people getting in trouble for impersonating police officers. That's what I've been watching for like the last 3 days. Yeah.
I've watched a few of those. Now I was on a real crime kick for like almost the entire pandemic. That's all I watched
Yeah.
because I'm legitimately stuck at home, so I'm freaking out. I can't be at my shop, so I just started watching true crime and working out.
Yeah.
And I did that. Now I'm on a True West, the Western stuff. So I'm like, I would say true crime.
Like history stuff?
Yeah,
Like old bandits and shit?
yeah, like fucking
Yeah.
all the people that the Young Guns was based on. So Billy the
Mhm.
Kid, Dave Rudabov, all those. I'm doing that. And then finding out that they're all kind of connected. So all these people that I grew up like Wyatt Earp, Batman.
Yeah, there's a spaghetti western MCU, dude. Yeah, that's awesome.
And you just start going into. And I'm a spaghetti western guy too. I grew up on that shit. I'm a Franco Nero guy. I like Django, the old Django that no one
Right.
remembers. It's the one where everybody remembers the premise of the movie because the guy's walking through the desert with a coffin dragging behind a horse.
All right.
And at the end, he pulls it out and it's a machine gun. It's a big freaking World War I machine gun. And well, only about 50 years before they would have had that. But
Yeah, no kidding. That's still cool.
man, I love that. And then streaming doesn't help. So there's always something on. And
Mhm.
I'm one of them dudes that has to have input. So even when I'm
Who do
editing,
you watch?
what do I watch? Shit.
Who do you watch for streamers? You watch streamers?
I watch a guy called the Junk Man who talks about toys. I watch your stuff. I watch I can't remember the dude's name, but he's talks about all these like the weird metal icebergs. So he goes down the list from the top, all the way down to the shit that you just cannot listen to.
Yeah.
The noise core or whatever the hell it is at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And then there was one guy I was watching the other day, and he's like talking about he's like, oh, thrash albums from not the big four, and I'm like, man, I had that album. That was a great album. And so now I got it on order because I have to
Yeah,
annihilate.
I want to one of my next like Exodus and all those Testament. I want to do people rail on me for like not covering somebody as if like I'm running out of time or something. Like, you know what I mean? People
Yeah.
are weird. They're like, because I did a Pantera video today, that means I hate Megadeth. It's like their math is so weird.
You cannot, and it's bad because my wife tends to be more towards the hair metal and stuff than me. And I'll still listen to some of it. I mean, shit, I grew up on that stuff. I mean, you can't grow up in the mid '80s without being exposed to a lot of this stuff.
Well, liking some of it. Some of it bangs, bro. You
But
can't deny it.
I still to this day love the band Dangerous Toys. I fucking love them. Never seen them live, nothing like that. And every time I think I'm going to, because they're a band that never really travels far out of their home state of Texas. Because Texas is fucking huge, so they could tour Texas once. And that's my wife right there. Boom. Just left his phone down there. But you know, she'll listen to stuff like I took her to go see Stevie Nicks 3 weeks ago at this point.
Stevie Nicks doing.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks comes out. She's 72 years old. Played for 2 hours.
That's fucking baller. Those old heads like fucking Elton John and shit. Those guys. I love Elton John. I love one of my favorite songs is "Oh Well" by Fleetwood Mac, which is like Fleetwood Mac before Stevie Nicks. But
yeah,
that
was when they were doing the blues stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And well, it's like my son got me into a band that I liked when I was younger because I used to listen to it when I played D&D. Was King Crimson.
King Crimson, yes.
Yeah.
Metallica did a King Crimson cover.
Mm-hmm. And then a couple years ago, they were coming through, and they got shut down because it was during the pandemic. That wasn't going to happen. And then there's a place about 30 minutes away, and they're like, King Crimson is coming back, and I'm like, fuck, okay. So I'm like, all right, let's see if we can get tickets. So I go to the place, and they're like, well, we have like 5 tickets left. We have 2 over here, 1 over here, 1 over here. I was like, I'll take the 2 side by side because my son will be with me. Mm. And them guys came out, played Court of the Crimson King in its entirety, in order, front to back, boom. They didn't pause. They just played it like it would appear on the album.
Right.
And you're like, oh, this is great. And I've never seen so many old hippies and anime fans in my entire life. Because King Crimson is being brought back because of the anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Really?
Yeah, because
I feel like I did know that actually.
Yeah, I
don't do anime.
Yeah, see, I'm an anime guy, but my kids are big into anime. And when JoJo's Bizarre Adventure came out, they have what they call stands, which is like their superpowers. And each one of them is based, because the guy that created it is a metalhead. So all of his songs are based on, either metal or rock songs. Like they have one guy, he does Killer Queen, so he does his stuff's Queen. You got guy does one for AC/DC, so he has Dirty Deed. His move is Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, except for here in American, it's Dirty Deeds Done at Reasonable Prices or something like that, because they can't legally do it. And so if you watch the Japanese one, it's hilarious because they're all straight metal references. But if you come over here, they're parody
slightly different because of copyright issues. Right. That is dope though.
Oh yeah. And so now that got him into other music that he wouldn't listen to at all. And now he's into that stuff now. I'm like, sweet. So
yeah, that's cool, dude. That's awesome. I've always wondered what would happen if I had a kid. Because like I like Billy Joel because my mom loves Billy Joel. And she would listen to it all the time as a kid. So like there's something about it. I really, plus Billy Joel is fucking awesome. There's like Kiss. I shouldn't like Kiss. Like you shouldn't like Kiss because they suck, but they don't. They're fucking like they got fucking awesome, just awesome songs. Well, and I hate that I love them.
See, that's just it. I give people shit because I have a couple huge Kiss fans that come in the shop. They got to have everything Kiss and stuff. I'm like, they are what they are. I kind of grew out of them a little bit because they were more of a certain era of Paul.
Right.
And then, but I still love that Revenge album because that Revenge album is metal as shit, except for God Gave Rock and Roll to Us, which was their
We Are the World.
Yeah, it's their song. So because they did Unholy and Deuce and or Domino Deuce, and so they were more heavy. So they put this really poppy song at the end of their little and to take it down a little bit. But I look over here. I'm sitting there staring at my because like immediately right here is where my vinyl is,
Right.
so I can see my Kiss albums from here.
That's back when the album was a piece of media. Like it's not. I grew up even in the primitive internet, but like I grew up completely digital. I was like into music heavy post Napster.
Mhm.
So I could listen to whatever I wanted whenever I wanted to. I didn't have to listen to albums. Like I did listen to albums, but you didn't have to. But like fuck back in the day, you put the vinyl on, the album, the whole thing, the way it looks when you pull it out,
Yep.
the presentation, how you feel as you progress through the track list. Like, I don't think you get that anymore.
Well, see, I got
anymore.
damn it. Okay, we'll just go. Just had it. That's a nope. Okay, there we go. King Diamond. I just got this the other day. You go pop it on. It's nice, clear blue.
That's so dope.
And it's cobalt. But it's funny because of all people, I have a comic book artist friend of mine who tells me, he goes, it keeps me from zoning out and losing track of time. So when I'm editing, while I'm doing my other shows and I'm doing all my editing, it keeps me from losing track of time because we'll put one on the record player, listen to one side, and then you got to flip it over.
You have
so
to
about
go
every
flip
20 minutes,
Yeah.
you got to get up, you got to move around, you can't zone out that long. And he goes, it helps him because when he's doing artwork, he's doing it. He goes, oh, break, go over, flip the album over, get something to drink, go back, drawing. 20 minutes later, boom, flipped out, and get another album, flip it over. So, and he says,
yeah, dude,
it's
editing will burn a day. Like editing will burn a whole fucking day for you if you're not.
I've got my two shows down almost to a science on them. Man, I can just boop, click.
My little ones are like that. My shorts, the shorts I make, I'm trying to make them a little more like increased production quality now, but like so my little ones are pretty easy to make. I will be at work all day having no idea what I'm going to make the video about, and then I'll come home. Like today, I decided to make the video about Volbeat's or Polson's like new band, and I was like, that's what I'll do today, and then I can because it's I only have 60 seconds, so like the quicker I write the script, the less I fluff it up. So it's pretty. I do have a bit of a process at this point, but like the longer ones, like I had to teach myself a whole bunch of shit for this Misfits video, dude. It was because I wanted it to be fucking good because I love the Misfits.
So what is your process of coming up with stuff? You just be at work and be like, fuck, there's an idea.
I have a list. Yeah, sometimes that'll happen, but I have a list of things that I could make videos on, and but occasionally I'll see something that and have like a good idea about it, right? Or some of the cooler things is like I'll do a video and put it out, and then people will either add to the history that I've presented in that video in the comments themselves. Like this also happened because sometimes I have to cut things out. I'll have stuff in there. Like I did a video about the Great Southern Trendkill yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had a whole section of it about floods, but I had to cut it because it was the only thing that would make sense if I took it out and the whole thing together would still make sense. But then, people will add that stuff and people will tell me things I don't know. They'll fucking comment things that I didn't know, and then I'll go look into them, and then it's like, oh, that would be a fucking great video. So, yeah, I have a list of stuff I'll draw from if I'm feeling super like writer's blocked. But yeah, typically, I've been trying lately to know what I'm gonna do ahead of time because there are some times where I'm having like mad writer's block, and I'll sit here, and I'll let too much time go by, and then the video doesn't go out till like 8 o'clock, and that was my whole night. So,
see,
but I'm trying to do them like every day, and I'll take like intentional breaks, like an intentional break day, just so the platforms don't get used to me doing like 7 days a week. That way, if ever couldn't, it wouldn't fuck with me.
See, that's what killed me yesterday was I probably could have done a show yesterday, but legitimately I was just worn out completely yesterday.
Yeah, I get that.
Puppy's trying to get your attention.
Totally get that. Yeah, this is him. This is the closest thing to aggro. He'll get me.
He's a good boy. Dogs are such a blast.
Yeah, I love him. I love him. I got really lucky with this one.
Yep. I would say I got lucky with mine, but she's way there. And she's fat now, and I have to vacuum my lair down here every couple days. If not, there's just dog hair everywhere.
No, we used to have a chow. Her name was Chloe. There's still hair. She passed away last year, but her hair is still in this house for sure. It's like part of the walls now.
Yep.
All right. We'll go in a minute. We're going in a minute.
So you guys like, I need outside. So
yeah, I couldn't. We were supposed to ignore him when he barks, but I couldn't do it because he's so fucking cute. And you can hear him get his confidence. He's getting his confidence back because he didn't have any confidence when he first got here. His barks were like little, like, and they were very high pitched. But now it's painful. It hurts when he does it.
My smaller corgi's this big, like this big. That's it. We have the neighbor's dog, which I love. I play with that dog every day. I don't know what kind of dog he is. His name's Thor. I play with him every damn day. Awesome. And I'm always like, hey, where's my buddy? He's like, oh, when he runs over and I play with him and stuff. He's a big dog, has this little like puppy bark. And my dog is like this big. It has this big, mean dog bark.
Traded bark.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then when they're barking at each other, you're like, I bet you don't know which one's barking.
Awesome.
Oh shit! So, you said you broke, man? You get to go to concerts at all? You get to enjoy it and have fun down there, or over there?
Not yet. No, I likely could. How do I explain this? I'm a little weird, man. I don't like being in a crowd. It makes me anxious, but I love being on a stage. And I don't know if that's like some weird psychology shit. I could get on a stage in front of however many people. I would love that. That's amazing. No problem. But like being in the crowd with people, I have trouble. So I've not been to anything in a while. And I'm right here in Pittsburgh and I could, and the doing this stuff is like starting to open my shell up a little bit. Like, I went to the Metallica premiere. It's not something I normally would have done. And for 72 seasons, we went out to the theater, me and a buddy. So I think I will be. I think it's something people are going to start expecting. Like people keep asking me which Pantera show I'm going to. It's like, I'm broke, dude. All right. We're waiting for like the coffee sponsors to show up. So, well, I have a coffee partner, but like, or, something else. T-shirt companies. I don't know. We're waiting for those guys to give me a call. Nike.
Do like I did. I had people like, oh, we want to sponsor your show. And I like, oh, nah, I don't want your product. Nah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
And then the one company, I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to a couple companies. This one company was like, yeah, we'll totally send you free shit. I'm like, sweet. So now I'm just waiting for them to send me free shit.
Yeah. Okay.
So now if I get,
I do get some of those emails every now and then. I don't know if we're quite big enough to. There's some weird ones. There was like stuffed animals with tattoos. That was one. That was their thing. I thought about doing that one, but most of them are like fitness wear. Yeah. They don't watch any of my shit. I get a lot of weird. I keep getting these emails from this like teeth whitener company, and I'm like, no.
I get jewelry.
Yeah.
All the time. I got one. I got a couple the other day that I don't even know what they're trying to. So I just clicked off of them. The fitness gear stuff. I got that because I do talk. I guess I talk about going to the gym occasionally, from time to time.
I don't.
Yeah. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, shit, yeah. I'd like to get me some. Yeah, I'd like to get me a new pair of pants and shit because I'm lazy and I've wore the same. Literally, my workout pants are slowly falling apart because I don't want to buy new ones because those are comfortable.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll wear an old T-shirt until it basically falls off. but I wash them. It's not like I just throw the
No,
dirty ones
yeah,
here. So I
yeah.
wash. And they were like, oh, you know what? I'm like, well, shit, if they're going to do that. And I like clicked on them. And they're like, it's all women's fucking fitness. That's
Yeah.
not for me. So I'm like,
Those are all, and a lot of those, they either want dedicated, they want me to make like a dedicated video, but which I'm not opposed to if I like the thing, right?
yeah,
But, or they want to make you an affiliate, and I don't do affiliate. I'm not doing affiliate anything. I technically Roast Number, my coffee company that I work with, they're like friend of a friend that hooked me up, and they've been with me since I had way before I had a following and everything. So like I'm kind of, I have a code that you can use, but other than that, they just send me coffee. You know, it's not like a monetary thing.
yeah.
But
See, I
yeah, no, we're gonna do cool shit. It's like a, you know, they're buddies of mine now. So, but other than that, like I'm just fucking winging it here.
see, people think that all of us on here are like making shit tons of money. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't. I haven't, dude. I've been a YouTube partner since May, and of all of, you know, and I make fucking YouTube videos. Not like, I make these shorts, but I also make like fucking productions
yeah,
that get no views. And I think I've got like, I made $30 off my AdSense the whole time I've been a partner. So like, you can't even get that. You can't even get that until you get it to 100 on YouTube. So like,
yeah, I started making money. I got monetized. I started making money, but I do my Saturday morning cartoon show, which has copyrighted material,
right.
and it's stuff that nobody cares about because they don't like. They're just like, oh, it's copyrighted material. You can't make money off of it.
It's just the auto. It's probably their auto system.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, all right, whatever. And I had all this money build up in my ad thing, and then as soon as they go, you're demonetized 100%, all that money it disappeared.
Just
Never
wipe
got to
it.
touch it.
Yeah.
And now I just do Patreon, and every once in a while I get enough money to do something. I
I
got
have
to buy this chair,
Patreon set up, but
and
I haven't talked about it yet.
yeah, I'm buying a computer, and
Nice.
occasionally I get something cool out of it. Like I've gotten free toys, I've gotten free passes to conventions. I've been invited to be a guest at a convention, and which is weird. I'm hanging out with the talent, and I'm like,
I got a panel. That'd be so cool. I'd do that.
I was supposed to do a panel in Tennessee back in June. But it was coming down to it. I was so busy. I'd already booked a convention that day to make money at that I was like selling comics at. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I got to make money before I can spend money. So I went and did that. And so I bailed on doing a panel and shit.
That's cool. Wait, yeah, I haven't gone through with any like reaching out to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, like I said, it's always weird shit. If something super cool comes up, we'll talk about it. But like till then, I'm like, I don't think anybody would give a shit. Like if I did a video about fitness wear, I don't think they'd get any views, bro.
No,
I'm not that big. Like I'm not. If I have to, every fucking fifth video has to be about Metallica for me to make sure I maintain the growth. Because otherwise, you know, if the videos aren't doing super well for like 3 days in a row, I'm like, no problem. I'll do a Metallica video.
one.
Boom, easy. They are my anchor. That's how it all started, and that's how I'm keeping it all afloat. So
that's me. My this show I do is literally the lowest viewed thing I have, but I do have dedicated followings to it. Then I do my Friday night show, which I show old sci-fi shows. That's my next one, and then my Saturday morning cartoon is my ginormous one. That's the one that, you know, I got one episode's like 120,000 views or something on it.
Awesome.
And I'm like, why the hell? Now I got people reaching out to me and sending me emails and stuff like that, and I'm developing a fan base, and that's just weird because I'm like, what? Why? What?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to handle for sure. Yeah. With people gathering around you, and if you if you diversify through platforms, like they're all forming separately, like in different rooms too. Like I have a TikTok following, it's actually pretty young. Like these kids that are into like heavy metal. And then my Facebook following is all the old heads, and they're all like congregating, and they're all like, "Hey, Hawk and Load," but they don't know each other, like they're not mixed together. So
Nope.
it's really weird. I got like the guys, and they all exist in a vacuum.
Oh
Like
yeah.
what's the sweetest thing is like my YouTube base is extremely supportive, and they're very good with like kind words because my YouTube channel is not as big as everything else is, but they don't know that I
Mhm.
have everything else. But they're just like super cool and supportive over there on YouTube. Like you'll get it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, thanks, dude.
I'm
So, yeah, it is
legitimately
sweet.
like while you're sitting there talking, I was like, oh, boom, boom, boom. I'm just seeing all these people on my YouTube thing blowing
Bro,
up.
my fucking phone dies now. My phone used to never die. Like because I could charge it once and it'd be good for like 5 days. I'm not like a big like on my phone all the time kind of guy, but now it's just fucking firing off at all times of the day. Like I had to turn on like a snooze mode to sleep with. Like
Oh yeah.
but it's a cool problem to have. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what I do. My phone sits down here on the charger, then I go upstairs to sleep. I'm as far
Yeah.
away from my phone to sleep as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, shit. But oh my god, no, it's being a metal guy, and I've watched this stuff come and go, and I thought my best friend from junior high, he's still one of my good friends. We posted, somebody asked, they're like, oh, what bands you think are overrated, what bands you think are blah blah blah, and I put Nirvana is overrated, blah blah blah, and everybody's like, oh, whatever, you grew up on Nirvana. I was like, nah. I was like, I own it. I still have the same cassette I've had since somebody gave it to me in '91, but it's because somebody gave it to me, and somebody asked me, they're like, oh yeah, you listen. I was like, my buddy popped up and goes, no, nope, that was not his thing.
I think we all have that band. We all have that one band that like everybody really likes, and you don't really understand why.
Nope.
I think Avenged Sevenfold is that band for me. I
Events.
feel like I should like Avenged Sevenfold because all of the bands that Avenged Sevenfold likes, I like their influences are like my favorite bands. So I feel like I should like them, but I don't like them.
See, Avenged Sevenfold, Five Finger Death Punch, and Ice Nine Kills are the ones that everybody's like, you don't like them? I'm like,
Death Punch, I fucking tried.
I
The Way
did.
of the Fist is such a cool album. Their first album, I
Yeah.
think, is really good. I could listen to that whole album front to back. But like, then it was you would get in the further down the line you would go, the more songs that I would put on in the corner. That I'm like, I don't want. These aren't. Some of these are all right, but like I don't have that problem with Volbeat. I can fucking just whatever new Volbeat album comes out. Some people don't
Yeah,
fucking
see, my
like them,
wife
but
doesn't dig Volbeat at all, and I dig
I
them.
love it. They're one of
Yeah.
my all-time favorite bands. Yeah. No, I just fucking put it on and let it go. I love Volbeat. Like
Yep.
Shotgun. I was just fucking listening to Shotgun Blues today. That's like for like a band that I'm really into to put out a new album and I'm still really into that what they're putting out is cool because Metallica's my favorite band. But like 72 Seasons is not Injustice for All. It's just, and I'm not expecting it to be.
No,
But it doesn't, I'm saying it's not connecting with me like Injustice for All did. So
no.
I wouldn't expect it to. It's not like a dig on Metallica. It's just that's the way of the world.
I was a big Metallica fan all through high school, into the '90s, stuff like that. Black Album dropped. I was like, oh, okay. Then they did Garage Days or Garage Inc., and I loved that
Mhm.
cover album. Then they fired Jason, and it's like, oh, okay. And then
Jason
Saint Anger
left.
came out, and you're just like,
Saint Anger, we don't talk about Saint Anger. Just so
well,
we don't talk about Lulu. Yeah.
yeah. We have an ongoing joke though that somebody's favorite Metallica album is Saint Anger.
Yeah, isn't that wild? I'm sure. I'm sure. I've not
My
run into them yet, but
my wife's former boss she worked at a restaurant. The chef, they call him Chef Talica. Massive Metallica fan. Massive. Dude's probably mid 50s now. He did not get into Metallica back in the day.
Right. That's probably a blessing.
Yeah, and I'm like, how did you? I was
I
like,
think that's why I think that's why I really enjoy Load and Reload. I think they're
oh,
great
those
albums.
are good albums. Yeah.
And I think it's because I got into Metallica. But I also got into Metallica post Saint Anger.
Mhm.
Like that was 2003. I was 12 then.
Yeah.
I didn't get into Metallica. I was like 14, 15. So yeah. I
Well,
don't hate Saint Anger. I just can't listen to it. It
no,
sounds like shit.
oh, it's horrible sounding, and
It could have been really good. Like you could take those songs and make them good.
well, that's like you talk about load and reload. I think if you took load and reload and you took all the good songs off both albums,
Mm-hmm. You
you
made
would
one
have
really awesome album.
yeah, you'd have another
Mm-hmm.
Master of Puppets and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And what's funny is that people go, "Well, how long you been into this shit?" And I was like, "Oh, this is my original. I got this."
Yeah.
The and I still got the cassette and shit. And that was the one that blew me away when
Puppets.
oh man, Puppets.
Oh yeah. Puppets is the greatest metal album ever made.
Yeah, and it was like, holy shit. What? I'm on the fence because I also those two are so close together. Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets.
You know what makes Ride the Lightning not better than Master of Puppets? There are a couple things, okay? The songs aren't done. They aren't complete. You know where they completed the songs later. Like if you hear them play For Whom the Bell Tolls live, there's a thing that I don't remember if Cliff started doing it first, but Kirk does it now. Like there's a melody that he plays in between like some of the part. Like it's just better. Like that version, if that version had been put down in the studio, it would have been better. And the fact that like not trapped under ice, Escape, they wrote Escape hoping it would be a radio hit, which is why they hate the song and they don't like it and they don't play it. Because they were like, ugh, I can't believe we did that. But to fit all that shit on the album, they had to speed everything up. So it thinned out all the sound. Like just the sound of the album isn't quite as good. So because they're all slightly above standard tuning because they all had to be sped up to fit on the vinyl. And then there are like production aspects to it. They did it all in like 3 days. Although I don't think they took too long to make Puppets, but like Puppets is perfect. Puppets is perfect.
Yeah.
Puppets sounds perfect. The songs are perfect. If they had made Ride the Lightning in 86, I think it would have been it likely would have been just as big. But like as big as like a Master of Puppets if they had. But Ride the Lightning is a stepping it's like the foundation of where Puppets goes next.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it not quite as good, but Master of Puppets is the greatest metal album ever made. It's perfect. It's literally perfect.
Yeah. Shit. Well, my favorite band of all time. Well, I'm a big Anthrax fan.
Mm-hmm.
And
somebody said Anthrax sucks in one of my comments threads earlier. I almost banned them. I'm like, are you fucking out of your mind?
Well, a lot of people.
Megadeth sucks. Anthrax is awesome.
See, I like a lot of Megadeth.
No, I do too.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where it depends
on.
I'm
the Metallica guy. I'm supposed to hate Megadeth. That's the script.
Yeah. So, like my kids, they got into Death Magnetic when that dropped, and they were like,
I really liked it. I was in high school. It was my senior year of high school.
Yeah, and that tells me I was an adult fucking with children. And, it came out, and I was like, man, fuck, okay, this is getting back to old school. And then Hardwired dropped, and you're like, damn, they're really going back old school. And then 72 Seasons come out, and you're like, okay,
this is great. Yeah. Inamorata was the 11-minute song because when we went to the premiere, that sound sucked in the theater because they were using their like weird Dolby like digital surround shit. So like James's voice was in the front of the theater, like physically, so you couldn't hear him. And I was like sitting right underneath like James's rhythms. Right, it was weird the way it was set up. It was fucking. I don't know if they did it right. I don't think it was intended to be that way.
No, probably not.
But Inamorata like it's 11 minutes long, and when it ended, I was like, you couldn't believe that it had been 11 minutes. It was fucking. It's super good. You get really into it. I think I really like stuff. Lux Eterna has like a sentimental connection to me, with it being like kind of what started all of this for me.
Mhm.
But I still think that that's my favorite song in the whole album. I think that's as like close to old Metallica as you're gonna get in
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah,
It's Lux
it definitely
Eterna.
is. Yeah, it's I don't know. There's certain bands that people have given me shit for liking, and they're like, "Oh, I like their old stuff better." Like, oh, fucking Clutch. I have a friend that I worked with,
Old
and
Clutch is awesome too.
he's Transnational Speedway. End of discussion. Boom. First album, perfect. He doesn't listen to anything after that. I'm like, you know how many great albums come after that? I was like,
Blast Tyrant, Psychic Warfare. Those fuck Earth Rocker. They're all Clutch is great. You
oh yeah,
can't end there. They get better. They get so much better.
oh
But I do like the weird thing that like Neil did on the first couple records with the weird like double tracked, almost not singing. It was weird what he was. I love it. Like Shotgun named Marcus or Impetus or something like that. Like
well,
so good.
well, it's nice is because I've also found all their other stuff. So I've listened to Dunsmuir, fucking Company Band,
They have
Ionized.
so many.
I was like, I wanted to go to this one tour. My buddy got a hold of me, but literally was when I was broke. I was broke as because I had no money. And he goes, man, Clutch is playing Cincinnati. I'm like, all right. And I'm like trying to save up money, and of course it was busy, and I just couldn't do it. But it was literally um, Lionize, the Company Band, and Clutch. I'm like, so we're gonna go see Clutch all day, is what?
Yeah, they're just so gonna shuffle around. Yeah, that's so
and,
dope.
And but now I'm going to go, and now I've gone and seen Clutch, and they've had a country band open up for them once, and then
It fits, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
the next show was,
I can't really place him. I
no,
can't really place him. That's why, like in the video I made the other day about him, there's a rock band. Like there's just rock and roll.
mhm.
You can't put him anywhere else. But it's because they're a lot of their a lot of their stuff gets right on the line of like it'll make you bang your head like metal.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
I don't know. I love it. But Neil Fallon's awesome. When Fallon featured on Volbeat's, I think it was Rewind.
Yeah, it's
Die to Live.
yeah,
I was like I when I saw that I like squealed like a little girl. I thought I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is literally perfect.
yeah. Let's see, there it is. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, fucking when they did Passive Restraints with old dude Randy from Lamb of God, and
Yeah, those guys like they're just musicians. I don't know. There's something you can tell. There's something about them too. They're all like it's all the same band.
yeah,
There was like technically another singer really early on, but the name was different and everything. It was
Yeah.
like
Clutch
so
has
I
been
don't
the same
count it. Clutch has been the
dudes.
same four guys since it was named Clutch. Yeah,
Mhm.
same four guys the whole time. You don't get that a lot.
Yeah, they freaked out. They thought they were going to stop because the bass player took time off, but they got the guy from Fu Manchu to fill in for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I was like, man, so are they going to tour with Fu Manchu? Because that'd kind of be awesome. I ain't seen them yet. Okay, they're touring with Red Fang. That's what I'm going to see this time.
Everything. I haven't seen them live, but everything that all of the comments I got the other day were like they were almost like the Volbeat comments I get. Like anytime I talk about Volbeat, I get floods of comments about how good they are live. I'm really curious about what they're going to do without Caggiano, which I could go on a whole thing about. I love Caggiano and I love what he did with Volbeat, but it's like he added so much that is like essential to the way Volbeat sounds now that like they have to have another guitar player.
Yep.
And even though like my favorite Volbeat is just Poulsen riffing on the first three albums, like without the intricate lead guitar. I don't know, but also Seal the Deal is one of my favorite albums. I fucking love Volbeat, bro. I found this skull at a gas station. This is not Volbeat merch at all, but I found this at a gas station. I was like, that's That's the Volbeat logo. I don't know why this is here, but I bought it just for Volbeat. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I get the clutch guy, the clutch because I wear clutch, but I've only got 4 shirts. But it seems like every time somebody sees me out, they're like, "You're always wearing this." I'm like, "No, I don't." I'm literally. There's probably a better chance of me wearing a Star Wars shirt
Got
than
a clutch shirt. You know what's fucking weird? Maybe I'm like kind of antisocial too. Like I said, I go to work and I come home, but I don't see a lot of people in. There's this one chick at the gas. Okay, we're doing it. We're wrapping up. There's one like chick at the gas station where like she wears like all these classic rock t-shirts, but I don't see a whole lot of like metal t-shirts around me, which is kind of weird now that I think about it. I'm like the only. Like, I couldn't rob a store because like you would just the description would be perfect. Yeah, he had a fucking bandana and he looked like a junkie. It's like he had a fucking Metallica t-shirt on. Like you wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to get away with shit. I don't look like just random white guy. You know what I mean?
no, dude. I stick out in my home.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Hey, it's Paul."
It's
One
that
is
fucking guy. Yeah.
I got this. Everybody knows me because I'm either the video game guy, the comic book store guy, which I own a video game / comic book store. The Magnum guy because I drive around in a Inferno red Dodge Magnum. That's my car. And I'm a heavy metal guy and I'm the goatee guy. So everybody can pick me out of a lineup one way or another. So it's bad. Now I'm getting recognized out of state because of my YouTube shit. And
Really? Dude,
yeah.
I took Doc to the vet, his first vet visit. The guy didn't approach me or anything, but he messaged me later. Was like, were you at the vet with Doc? And I was like, yeah. How do you know that? She's like, oh, I saw you, but I didn't want to be that guy. And I'm like, no, be that guy. You'd be the first one. There's a bug in here. Yeah, no, that's cool. I get that sometimes. Every now and then. But it's gotta be I share around a lot with like my local humane society. So it's not like super weird that someone near me fucking hey kid. He's shredding my comforter. He wants to go out.
Well, man.
Better call it.
Yeah, we're Gary. Call it, man. Take your puppy outside. I gotta let my puppies out. He's like, "Yep, take me outside, Dad."
Yep. Here. Hey, man. Anytime you want to do it again, just let me know.
Yeah, man. Anytime. This has been fun, man. I love talking metal because I've got like one other dude I can talk metal to, and he's
really?
Yeah. So, but yeah, here you go. Go find this book, man.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna go find that book.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
I think I paid $6 for it on Amazon. So now I got to find his other books. So, but yeah, sir, take care. Have fun. Take the puppy outside, and I'm gonna go eat dinner because I ain't ate yet today.
Yeah, same. I got you. We're doing it. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, man. Take care, man. Later.